Hi, this is my Module 7 assignment. This week we took a look at internal and external communities and how communication is happening between the two of those in the Blue Valley District. So for this assignment I chose to use the Creately platform. I liked it because it was so simple to use. It was very streamlined and straightforward. I had a pretty easy time using it just because it was so user-friendly as well. I didn't have to spend a ton of time on tutorials figuring out how to navigate the website. Another reason I enjoyed it was because they had an education section. I was drawn to this T-chart model just because it was really simple to look at, wasn't overly complicated. I feel that I sometimes get lost in really complex diagrams and graphs. So I liked this one because it was easy to put my information inside of it, and I felt that it would be easy for my viewers as well to follow along and be able to read it and understand it. For this assignment, I looked at the internal publics in Blue Valley, and I defined those as the administration inside Blue Valley, so the Board of Education, principals, also the faculty and staff members within Blue Valley, so teachers, paraeducators, anyone that's working within a school building, and then of course students. For the external publics, I defined that as being parents, PTO, district partners and businesses that maybe have donated to the district, and then outside community members such as elders in the community or younger adults in the community who don't have kids in school currently but still live nearby and care about what's happening. For these two groups, I looked at the strengths and the weaknesses of the communications happening between them. So first, let's just take a look at internal communication. I felt that internal communication was an area where Blue Valley had some weakness and some room for improvement. So they do utilize district-wide newsletters and emails. Those happen bi-monthly, so every 1, 2, or 3 months we'll get a district-wide email updating us about things that are happening. We also have school building meetings, so that's where school buildings will meet and the principal kind of gives you updates that are coming from the district. Those will happen 2 to 4 times a year, so maybe like once or twice per semester. And then of course informal conversations do happen, and while that is meaningful, I still think the district could improve in this area because usually those informal conversations are staff initiated. And oftentimes staff members are initiating those conversations because they do have questions. They do have gaps in their understanding about what's happening within the district. So I believe that overall Blue Valley could do more as far as communicating internally with our internal publics. It is two-way just because staff members initiate questions, but I believe it should be more ongoing two-way communication, so maybe sending out Google Forms monthly asking for feedback about how things are going within the district or with different initiatives for the year. I feel that if we had more ongoing monthly communication such as that, we could avoid some bigger problems. So for example, this past year, towards the end of the school year, I received a Google form asking me how I liked our reading curriculum and if I felt like I was supported in educating students with the current curriculum we had. And this question was brought up because so many readers are struggling in our district. And so while I did think it was beneficial and very helpful, and they did hear our feedback and respond in a great way to that feedback, if that kind of communication had been happening regularly and for the last few years, I wouldn't be surprised if our readers would be doing much better right now, and we could have potentially avoided problems if we had more ongoing two-way communication between the district level and then teachers in the building. I know sometimes teachers don't feel very considered either with the way our district makes decisions. The way I heard it described recently was they have a lot of dreamers at district, and so they're constantly trying new big things, and oftentimes teachers don't feel supported to be able to make those changes. So there does need to be more two-way communication where they're hearing the voice of the employees and responding accordingly. As far as external communication, so communication that's happening from the district level into the community, so between teachers and parents, principals and parents, and then the Board of Education and parents and all the district partners and outside community members. Our district is doing a phenomenal job in this area. Almost every form of communication possible is happening, and it's happening often. Blue Valley is utilizing all the social media platforms, virtually all of them. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. There's also a Blue Valley magazine that is distributed within the community. That happens bi-monthly, so pretty often too. Social media accounts are updated daily. They have a news and media page. There's also a Blue Valley podcast and a Blue Valley app. And like I said, all of those are updated regularly. So this kind of frequent updating is a way that you can see that the communication is ongoing to support student learning. The people at district, you can tell they're really excited about what's happening in the classrooms, and so they're eager to share that with the community. And because of that, the district has a pretty good name with the people in the community. People have good positive things to say about the district, and I think it is because they're transparent about the cool things happening in our schools. And that good rapport, that good name between the community and the district helps people to continue supporting the district and donating and voting to pass bonds, and that allows students to be able to work with up-to-date technology and equipment and supplies in the room. So how much the district is updating the community turns back around and looks like student support. I do believe students could be more supported, though, if there was more communication happening internally between the decision makers and the people who are executing the decisions. Overall, there's a lot of great communication happening in the district, and we have some work to do, but the overall heart in Blue Valley is to redesign and reimagine learning, and I do think they are trying to do that. And over time, I look forward to see how they will work through these problems and overcome them, because I know that students are most important in this district. Looking at my graph, moving on to look at my graph and my assignment as a whole, I feel like I was able to consolidate the major forms of communication in this chart to show you the different ways that Blue Valley is communicating internally and externally. And I hope that you learned something about Blue Valley and enjoyed this presentation. Thanks for watching.